Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and today we're going to revisit one of my first videos that I have done on the channel, and it is Char Cloth. And it is something that I think everybody needs to know how to do. It's extremely simple. You probably have everything that you need already at home, so you can try this after you watch this video. Now, if you haven't watched the first one, if you're a new member, first of all, thank you and welcome for joining. But I would encourage you to go back and watch it because I wanted to push myself on that first video. And instead of doing the candy tin, which is what everybody uses, and I normally use too, just because of the simplicity and the ease of getting one and using it, if you didn't have one, what else could you do? And I actually made one out of aluminum foil. And so it was really fun. It was really creative. I wanted to see if it would work. I never did it before then, and I tried it and it worked really, really well. So if you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go back and watch that one. But today, for the people that have never made char cloth, first of all, let's go through what char cloth is. Basically, the internet has a definition of char cloth as any cloth made of 100% plant material, such as cotton, jute, or linen, that is placed in an airtight container that is heated for a period of time so it can go through a process called, here comes the big word, thermal decomposition. And that is basically the process in which, once it's complete, all that is left is carbon. Now, this process varies by the amount of material, the size, how much, the heat, temperature, all that. So, on a average basis, something like this, filled, kind of average, you're not stuffing it full, you're not putting two pieces in, would take somewhere between about 15 to 30 minutes. Um, if you're going to follow along with me, you're going to basically start out with some sort of cotton material. So I just found one of my 4 year old's shirts that is stained and got a hole in it because he played too hard. That wasn't too hard, to find something like that. So I found one of his old play shirts, and for the sake of time for a video, I went ahead and cut up some strips. And all I did was about that size of strip right there. And I just cut up enough to where I got a stack of them. And there you go. So you will need 100% cotton. You will need a pair of scissors or shears, something to cut it with. You will then cut it basically to where it'll fit inside of your um, container, whatever you're going to use. Most people use the candy dish or the candy container there, if you can see it. And what you need to do is take some sort of an object and poke a hole in the top, just a small hole, an ink pen, a nail, something, just poke a little hole. And so what we're going to do is we're going to open our tin. And as you can tell, I use mine a lot. I love making char cloth. Now, for this, since I'm going to make it look all pretty, I have discovered that if I use a box like so, and I take two of these tea lit candles and put them here. So I will put one on this side, and then I will take one of the other one and put it on the other side. I'm just getting the wicks up so I can light them. And what it does when I do this is it kind of evens the heat. So you're going to have to find some sort of thing. This right here is already a tea light candle holder, but it's only a single and it's so low it doesn't give me the heat. You want the uh, flame to basically lick the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to light these so I can get the candles lit. There we go. And next one. I can get it lit. There we go. All right, so those are lit. Now we're going to start layering these. So you just want to get a couple of them at a time. You're just going to layer them, and you're going to not want to push them down so much to say. I hear a lot of people say you push it to get all the air out. Um, I have found that that's not really necessary. I actually like to not push down. Um, but there you go. So neatly inside. Then you're going to take and shut this. So it clicks, and you're going to place it right on top, just like that right there. And if you can see it from the camera view, hope you can, that flame is basically just licking the bottom of this. And so what we will do is I'm going to basically do a time lapse. So I will cut away. This will stay rolling to where you can, in the next 20, 30 seconds, whatever the time lapse will be, this will heat and do everything. While this does this, the box will heat up. It's basically burning all the oxygen out to create carbon. That little weep hole there that you put on top, you will start seeing white smoke. That means it is working. That is a good thing. How you know it's done is when that white smoke stops. Now, the trick to this, once it's done, once the white smoke is done, do not open it. Okay? You can literally, if you get excited and you peel it off, which the container is going to be hot, mind you, but if you get excited and you peel it off and you open it, that vacuum pressure I have seen, it will ignite. So you have to let it cool. So uh, we'll do the time lapse and then we'll check and see how well of the job that we did. So hang tight with me. All right, welcome back. I will give a small disclaimer. I just went through and took this off. So while I talk, this is going to hopefully cool down enough. As you can see, one candle here burnt out, and this one here, this one semi burnt out because I had to. I can do this without making another mess. You see the candle wax there, and the way that this is turned. And that was because I bumped the table while coming back to sit back down, and yeah, I made a little bit of a mess. So if you guys are going to follow along, make sure that for not making video purposes, you do this on a safe environment and all that fun stuff. Um, so we've got everything laid out. Um, Remember, you just need your cloth, your shears, cut it into your strips. You're going to put it into your can. You're going to stick it over a fire. Now, I've seen people take and put them over top of a stove. I've seen them put them on the grill. If you have a fire outside, you put this up there. You're just trying to heat this enough to where you are burning the oxygen out and just leaving carbon left. So, let's see. Actually, you want to blow that out and ouch. Move that off to the side so I don't make a bigger mess than what I already did. Okay, we're gonna use this because it's still a little warm. And we'll see how well this turned out. Okay, there we go. So, remember what we started out with? That is what you want. That right there. And we've got quite a few sheets. This whole thing was stuffed full of it. And put that back in there. This thing's still a little warm. Alright, so we're going to set this off to the side. Alright, so here is what we wanted to get out of. Remember, Touch your cloth, you're basically leaving carbon. There you go. So what I did, I ripped up some paper. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, I'm going to bunch it up a little bit. You don't have to bunch this up. I'm going to put it right down here. Hopefully, can you guys see that? Can I move this over a little bit better? Okay. I'm going to take just a simple ferro rod with a striker, and we're going to see if we can make the char cloth actually work right here on video. So, no fancy editing, no anything like that. I just pulled it out, and this is going to be awkward because I'm going to try and demonstrate. So, this may take me more than just one strike, but we'll see if we can get just one strike. All right. One. There we go. Right there. Right there. You see it? Now, the great thing about Char Cloth is that it is technically windproof because the wind will actually help you ignite. See the smoke coming up? And you guys see it? There it is. There's flame. Now, this was a little awkward on trying to make this because of the angle that I'm trying to do with the chair and the table and all this, trying to do all that. So it's going to be probably much, much easier for you. And I probably should have did a different camera angle so I could have done it better. But you saw just a couple of quick strikes. It took, you blow on it a little bit to get your ember going a little bit, have you some tinder ready, boom, that easy. And it was one single piece of char cloth. Now, if you were in a survival situation, you could have tucked that char cloth and probably ripped it into at least half, if not thirds, and maybe even quarters, because you don't need much. You just need enough to catch a spark and then have your tinder ready, and you can make a piece of char cloth last quite a bit. So, there you have it, right in front of you. Um, that easy to make, and it does work. Let me do this so I don't have to bend down so much. All right. So again, walk you through it. Find you something 100% cotton. Find you an airtight container. Put a hole in the container for a little sort of a vent or a kind of a weep hole. You will cut up your strips. You will put it in there. You will put it over a flame. Now, you will have to do it a few times to get it. Now, you technically can overdo char cloth leaving it in the flame for too long. Most people, what they will do is they will put it in there and they'll wait 10 minutes to pull it out. And then you'll see you'll have blacking, browning, and then, the color of your shirt or whatever you're using. That's okay. You can put it back in, put it back. You don't want to keep doing it though, but you can. Your first couple of times, you'll probably get anxious and you'll check it. So it's okay. Put it back. You'll get it down. You'll start seeing and noticing when you see the little white smoke coming out, it's working. When the smoke is gone, then that means nothing else in there can burn and it's time to pull it out. That is your timer. It's one of those ones. If you're in a survival situation, take your sleeve, rip it, find you a container, cut it into whatever strips with a knife or whatever, throw it in your container, put it by a fire. Hopefully, you have something. You have, this, or you have a lighter or something. Light your fire, make your char cloth, because char cloth will help you, even if you're out of lighter fluid. Just getting that spark. Just getting the spark. It's a lot easier with char cloth than trying to get tender and everything else. So I encourage you, here's some prepper homework. If you've made it this far, try it. Go out and buy you the little candy tin. They're usually $1 something. They're cheap. You get candy out of it, maybe dump it out. And if you successfully make char cloth, you get a piece of candy. Uh, but anyway, I want to hear your story. So leave them down in the comments below. Send me a video of you doing it. Send me pictures that you did it. I want to hear your success stories, or if you failed, ask me questions. I'll help walk you through it. I want you to be successful in making char cloth. It is an essential cornerstone. You will be very glad that you did it. So, all right, guys. Hopefully that helped. If you guys want to see more of this, or I need to go into more detail, or maybe we'll do this on the live because it doesn't take an hour to make char cloth. So maybe I'll start a live doing everything, putting it down. It'll sit right here in front of you while it cooks, and we'll talk back and forth. And then you can watch the whole process from start to finish. So there's no fancy Hollywood editing because of my green screen so good and my editing so great. So, all right, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Do all the fun YouTube things to help me with the algorithm. The like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification. So that way you don't miss the content that comes out next. And with that, above all else, please remember to remain united because we're all prepping in this together.